60 years. 60 years ago, Morrison became a phenomenon. He's like Coca-Cola or every other major product that's woven into the fabric of America lies Jim Morrison. He rests like this. He doesn't rest, actually. He's every 10 years, and that's the way it's been for the last 60 years, he's reincarnated by this one phenomenon. He died young, yes, that's true, but so did a lot of other people. But you don't get thousands and thousands of people assembling at his grave site in Paris. It's just so unbelievable. So this is my theory, that he didn't really die. He left behind a legacy that said, hey, when you have it out with your parents, when your dad says to you, I'm going to do this, fight for your rights. 5-1, baby, 1 in 5. No one here gets out alive. You get yours, baby, I'll get mine. Going to make it in our prime. And he was talking about not driving on a freeway every morning to a job that sucked the life out of you, then driving home and like your whole life ended at 60. He was talking about making it when he was 22, and by God he did, against his father's admonishments. You'll never make it in the music industry. Well, a year after he said that, Morrison was #1 in the nation. To this day, his records sell very well. Elvis is phenomenal too. Marilyn Monroe, phenomenal. They all have a gravesite and people go there, and Elvis makes a lot of money, but there's nothing like youth dying. Romeo and Juliet, all of it, it's about eternal life after you die, but you don't really die. If that sounds confusing, so what? Here's the story. The old get old and the young get younger. It may take a week and it may take longer. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. Gonna win, yeah, we're taking over. Come on. So the essence of youth is always. That's what causes the change. Is the young come along and say, maybe I shouldn't do it that way, Dad. Let's try this way. And the dad said, wait a minute, it's worked for me in my generation. Your generation is old. Let's go to Bobby Dylan. He sang The Times They Are Changing in the early 60s, and it went like this. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly fading. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are changing. There's a heavy one for me. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in a doorway. Don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside raging will soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are changing. Now here I am doing nuclear radio, mobile nuclear radio. Recently, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and when it gets to the point where I'm stumbling and muttering or jittering like poor Michael J. Fox, I'm about to turn on the rock and roll and cover it all up, and who'll know the difference? Nobody. I saw a sign once when I was a very young man. There was a poster, and it had a guy with yellow hair, yellow suit, yellow tie, yellow shoes, and he had a big bag of yellow lemons. And the sign said, when God gives you lemons, make lemonade. Al Graham for the Cape Fixie Radio. Just take one last long look at Jim. Keep on keeping on, Jim Morrison, and I thank you. Al Graham for the Cape Fixie Radio, the only nuclear-powered radio station on God's green earth. And good evening.